Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast.
Where 8 is the symbol of infinite opportunities, just like real estate. I'm your host, Maymoon Mustafa.
And I'm your co-host, Johnny Funino.
I just love the business. I love working with people. I've made a lot of people very wealthy over the years. And, you know, as the real estate market kept going up,
you've obviously sustained it for the long haul for 36 years, which is going to bring us into our first question for you.
there were a couple girls in school that every time I saw them, they put a smile on my face. We were just friends. And I had a couple friends that are still my dear friends that every time I saw them, I just smile on my face. I said, that's work. Like you don't just do that. Like you have to work at that.
Look who we have here.
Unbelievable.
Episode 2. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. I think we might have plateaued though on episode 2.
This could be a plateau.
This could be a plateau.
It ain't gonna get any better than this.
I don't think so.
I love it. I love it.
Are
So
you kidding me?
if you don't know, you're about to find out. And if you don't know, I don't know where you've been. You've been under a rock or something.
Yeah.
We have the one and only Joseph Simone
Imagine that.
and
Mhm.
Joseph Simone Jr. joining us today on the Real Estate
Yes, sir.
Podcast.
Another father and son combination.
Another father
1 and
and son.
2 right here.
I think this one's going to be a little different than the last one.
a
though.
tad.
A little different.
A tad.
Probably.
Yeah, a little different, but extra special. So we want to kick off the show and give you guys a little bit about the background of our show. So we're the Real Estate Podcast. There's an 8 in our logo because we're going to ask you 8 questions.
Okay.
And then we're also going to ask you 8 multiple choice. We're not going to give you any of those questions ahead of time.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
This is unscripted, folks. All right?
Totally
And
live.
We can edit, but Dave's not going to edit much here.
He doesn't
'Cause
like to
this is
edit.
the real podcast. Right? This
Exactly.
is the real estate. It's real people here sharing real stories. So I'm going to kick it off with our first question.
You know what? Before we do that, it was I'm looking through your bios, both of you, and I learned some really interesting stuff that people may not know. First and foremost, as we are doing a live show here, we have someone that is familiar with the camera. You want to tell us a little bit about what you've done in your acting
brag too
career
much here.
prior? You
Not
just got to
too
hear
much.
this because this
Here we
is
go.
this is important to know.
It's Junior's heard this a lot.
Let's
You
go,
heard him?
Junior.
He probably
This-
can say it for him, but
Probably could. Yeah.
Growing up, I wanted to be a comedian, so I was always goofing around. And I didn't go to college. I started acting and got my headshots and started getting to the city. And I landed Ryan's Hope, Ghostbusters, Crocodile Dundee.
go.
The TV show Wise Guys,
what show was it? You were in the limo, One Life to Live.
One Life to Live.
I
I
was
was
on
on
He was a
10
limo
times.
driver.
Oh my
I was in
goodness.
it 10 times. I was dancing, limo driver.
you got
Can we
moves
pull
too?
this up if we can?
It was
Make
all-
sure
it
we
was
pull
all-
this
First of all,
up because
he's
I'm like
He's probably got this on his
shocked
phone.
right
It was
now.
all extra
All right, he's
work.
probably
It was
got
all-
it
it was
Doesn't
all-
matter.
it was all extra work.
I don't.
Doesn't
I
matter.
wish
Can
I
your
did.
realtor say that?
No, not many.
I was in the movie Lean on Me.
Oh, with
Mr.
Mr.
Clark.
Clark.
Are you
Mr.
kidding
Clark
me?
and my
Patterson
buddies-
here.
My buddy who lives in town wore a white T-shirt and said he put it. My friends on in this movie or something like that. We went to New York.
You have a Patterson connection too.
AMC.
Right?
We went to the movie theater when it premiered and stuff. It was fun.
That's so
I think
cool.
your first transaction was in Patterson or something like that. You bought a house in Patterson. Your
I
first
bought a house when I was 20 years old.
in
God
Patterson.
And
Right?
Yeah, my first 3 family. And
Nice.
it took me 6 months to close because I didn't have enough work history. Back then, the attorney was blown away because I was young. And I think I owned it for 2 months and the tenant didn't pay me rent. And I'm, I'm 20
Welcome to real estate.
I'm 20 years old. I'm panicking. I'm like, I called my realtor at the time. I'm like, you got to sell this. This isn't for me. And he's like, all right. I didn't sign a listing agreement. I had no idea what I was doing.
Sure.
He called me 2 days later. I got the house sold. I'm like, you got the house sold? Like now I know you have to get a listing signed and you have to get,
Right.
paperwork.
God,
and
Did you make a profit?
I'm like, what would you sell it for? And I bought it for $135,000. He sold it for $185,000.
In
God
2
bless
months.
America.
No. By the time it was all
Well,
it
6
was-
months,
It was
right?
about 6 months. But
It's
I
a
was
good
in
turn.
contract. I was in contract 6 months before, so it's about a year.
It's still 50 grand
And
in
I'm
a
like,
year.
50 grand. And I remember I was still living home with my parents.
Sure.
It was 11 o'clock at night. I ran to my parents' room. I'm banging on the door. Hey, because my father said, what are you buying
Of
in
course,
Patterson? My
yeah.
mom's beauty salon was down the block in Patterson. And she's like, what are you buying down here for? Like, what are you crazy? And then, so then I got this sale. And I'm banging on the door. My mom and dad were laying in bed and they're like, what? And I'm like, I sold the house. How could you sell the house? You only
just
had
bought it.
You told them
Incredible.
2 days ago. And that's how I got into real estate. And then that agent, that broker hired me because I found out I wasn't too good at acting.
All right.
And but I was good at picking up the phone and getting my foot in the door. So, which is what you do for real estate.
100%.
So I got to all the casting. Found out the casting directors. I found out all of the trade magazines, and from there I started calling to get to all of these shows.
Man with a plan.
And then all of a sudden, when I got to real estate, I'm like, well, this is easy. If I can get myself into New York,
The gift of gab.
NBC and ABC, and I was getting into all these places, and then you start figuring it out. That's how I got.
So really, it was the 50,000 that just made you decide to leave acting. It wasn't that you couldn't act. You
Oh, no,
probably
yeah,
would have.
I got hooked. As soon
Yeah.
as I-
Yeah, it
as
was
soon
a
as-
50
as soon as
50K.
You see that first check in
Yeah.
real estate.
My first real estate check was $64,000, a house in Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And it was split in half. It was me and my college roommate. I was like, wait, did you just give me a check for 64 grand?
Yeah.
I just finished law school. Oh no, actually it was my second year of law school. And I was like, wow, I just made 64 grand. It was
Invest in
insane.
real estate, whoever's watching.
Yeah.
But I took that money and I put it. The realtor talked me into buying a 4-family. So I just said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And then he buys a 4-family in Garfield, and then the real estate market turned. And I'm like, holy crap! I paid $229 for the place, and now he's telling me after whatever number of years it was, maybe 3 years or whatever, it was worth $185, and you couldn't sell anything
Wow.
back then. He's like, just hold on to it. Just hold on.
Get
to
the
it.
rents and sit.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been in, I'm doing it 36 years now. The market's gone up and down 4 times,
Sure.
So when it goes down hard, So you gotta stay in it for the long haul.
Sustainable. Well,
Yeah.
you've obviously sustained it for the long haul for 36 years, which is going to bring us into our first question for you, Mr. Senior. Can I call you just Joe? Because
Yeah,
I don't want to
I'm
call
Joe
you
and he's
Senior.
Joseph.
Yeah,
Sure.
Joseph.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
go with
So
that.
I don't want to call you Senior. So Joe, 30 plus years. Now we just got 36 years in the business.
Mhm.
What is one lesson you learned the hard way that every new agent should hear? I'm sure you heard this already.
No.
Oh yeah.
Don't talk too much. When you're walking into houses and you're giving your opinion. We had a house that we sold with my partner who was on the podcast before me. I don't want to give him too many props.
Gene Lowe.
Gene Lowe.
Gene Lowe. And we walked into a house and there's a sand pit in the back of the house. And we're like, this is going to be a problem. And we had people come from Brooklyn and he's like, he walked through the house and he looked in the window. And before we could say listen, don't worry about the backyard. You could landscape, you could this. He goes, honey, look, just like Brooklyn. Or so, he said something with his referring to his house. And we're like, holy cow. Like,
He liked it.
Unbelievable.
He bought it. He bought it. So, sometimes less said is, you don't want to always give your opinion because you don't know. Everybody has different opinions on what's the right house, what's the wrong house. Do you, so, and you want to be honest. You want to be honest because that always comes back to bite you.
Joseph, so I know you haven't been 36 years in the business, but same question. What is one lesson you learned the hard way that you think everyone should know going in? I know it's been 2 years now for you?
Yeah, just over 2 years.
So I'm sure you picked up a lot in these 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, what I would say is, and I guess this kind of goes back to baseball, that dad's always right in real
you
estate. I've learned that the hard way. I listen to him. I trust his opinion more than anybody based on his experience. But I mean, just dealing with people, I've learned to listen, and I'm dealing a lot with first-time home buyers, and they're not educated. And it's our job to educate the people and to hear their concerns out. And like he had just said, kind of piggybacking off what my dad just said, is to sometimes less is more in terms of having conversations with people. You want to hear their concerns. I just had first-time home buyer showed him his second house, and he brought his parents, and they're picking the house apart, right?
Mhm.
Doing what they're rightfully so. I mean, it's their parents, they're protecting their kid and first-time home buyer. And I listened to what their concerns were. They then had a conversation later on, and I just had a conversation with him today, and hearing him out, what he has to say, and having the answers for him is another thing that I guess is coming along with experience. And we are there to guide them and to, for me, first-time home buyers especially, teach them, because a lot of people don't know, at least at my age, they don't know really anything about the process of buying a home.
Yeah, I love working with first-time home buyers also, and that's great. So we're gonna go on to question 2, but before we do, as we learn that Senior was previous to his real estate world was in acting and pursuing something we had no idea. We have a Division I baseball player.
I heard him. Well, I got to share this story with you.
You know something, because anyone watching this knows what it takes to be a D1 ball player. That's not easy. So we know that you've already been through a lot.
Doing some
to get
training
there.
with my kids at this place in Pequannock.
Okay.
Baseball training, and I hear pa. Just like I hear this, the beautiful sound of the bat hitting the ball, crushing the ball.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I see Joe come out, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my son in the back," And I'm like, "What a swing!
Yeah,
what a swing!" No, really, I don't know if I ever told you that. Beautiful swing. So not surprising that he played D1 ball. So go ahead.
And that'll take you, obviously, what you learn to become a Division I player. You're going to, what that instills. A lot of people don't understand. And the percentage that can make D1 baseball is very small. So what you've learned there, accompanied by having dad who, sold at some point one of the most sales in Passaic County, hold that record. Everything you're learning is probably phenomenal in this business to take it there now.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite the journey, and I had aspirations to play professionally. I got to play with the New Jersey Jackals for a little bit, which was awesome. But it definitely,
he got drafted. He had to go to Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah,
in the draft for independent baseball, it just happened to be that the Jackals drafted him.
Yeah. So
cool.
I mean, long story short, I drove down to Florida. I lived there for a month and a half training to try and get picked up by a team. I drove back home, played in front of a bunch of independent teams in the Frontier League and the other leagues. We can go on and on about that. But I ended up driving back down 8 hours to Kentucky. There was 400 kids there. The next day, they cut it down to 200. And
you made that cut?
Yeah, I did.
I got it on video.
I was just going to say, look, I don't know if you know this. I shared that time with you because me and your dad are close, and your dad was sending me videos.
So cool.
Super excited.
So cool.
It was, I was blessed that I got drafted by a team that's in my backyard. So I could not have drawn it up any better. I had a great time, great experience. And after that, I didn't know what I was going to do. And he's get your license and
come on board.
2 years later, here we are.
Good man.
Yeah.
All right. So question 2 for both of you.
I will say this, though. I find myself becoming a better realtor because he's with me, whereas I could get through things a lot easier. And it's a people business. And you're always, you're learning what people's needs are and how you're going to get them, help their families. So he doesn't brag. So I'm just going to brag a little bit for him. He had 7 MLB draft letters.
Wow.
And the year of the draft, he calls me up crying. He's 22 years old.
Yeah.
22 years old.
So we all cried.
Now, I haven't heard him cry since the last time he's a baby. I'm like, what's the matter? He's like, they canceled the season. COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And that was the year he was supposed to get drafted. And the draft went from 40 rounds down to 5 rounds that year.
Mm-hmm.
So then he went in the portal and went to Garden State, Gardner Webb. Yep. And then he went to, and that's when he was drafted by the Jackals.
Wow.
So it's a little bit, the journey's different, but what he's gone through in the last 7 years training, and he's bringing it to real estate, has been tremendous. Like his follow-up now with clients and stuff I wasn't really good at. Mm-hmm. He's like point on point. So it's just through his journey, it's been a perfect fit.
Wonderful. All right. So to both of you, and even though it has been 2 years, it still pertains to you because there's technology and AI. There's so many things that are changing. But Joe, to you first, Senior, what has changed the most in real estate from when you started versus today?
Oh, I mean, the amount of time you can get a deal done. We used to have to write up the contracts, hand deliver them.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have cell phones when I started.
Mm-hmm.
So, then fax machines came and the paper rolled up and you had to unroll the paper and put it on the printer to flatten out the contract.
Unbelievable.
And, then all of these, and the dot loop comes. And now from dot loop, I'm like, I'm fighting it. Like, I'm not doing
You
this.
just stuck in the old
I
ways.
literally I was like, I don't need to do this. And then then my company's like, you have to do it. This is the way it is. And then I'm seeing a contract getting signed at 2:00 in the morning.
Isn't that wild?
And I'm like, holy cow. Like, you're doing,
With a
the
click.
the offer gets accepted verbally at 9 or whatever. And next thing you know, you're getting contracts signed at 2:00 in the morning or whenever they're opening up their emails. So the speed that you can get a deal done now is just tremendous.
And for you?
The thing that I can kind of go back on, and I think we can all relate to, is the buyer's agreement. My first year, that wasn't a thing really.
Sure.
The first 6 months, 8 months. So I was just picking up and going, and just wherever he's go show this, go let these people in, learning the business as I could, driving him around.
Mm-hmm.
And then the buyer's agreement kind of
Changed a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
And I was lucky enough that I'm new to the business, so I
You know better.
didn't know anybody. It's the only way that
It's
I
a good
knew.
position to be in
Yeah,
sometimes.
sure.
Yeah, 'cause
Absolutely.
I'm fighting the buyer's agreement and he's embracing it.
He's sure.
And I'm like, he's getting bigger commission because the buyers want to work with him. It's just, it's sometimes old school. You're fighting, and it's actually hasn't been bad at all. It's more work, but it's been good because now you have buyers that are committed.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the biggest thing for me was what's going to be, because my biggest thing, get his foot in the door when going on a listing. But my biggest thing that I needed to work on was what's going to be my spiel to buyers. I want them to work with me. You need to have a buyer's agreement signed now. So I was constantly working on what I'm going to tell people when I speak with them.
You got used to hitting curveballs and sliders.
That's it. That's
They
it.
can't mess with you.
That stuff
can't.
was easy.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
But,
that was a big curveball they threw in the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah,
and
no, of course.
I said, I think the industry maybe needed it to weed out some of these agents that wouldn't be
yeah.
able to explain that, handle that
Mhm.
type of change. So it weeded out some agents that don't belong in this industry.
For sure.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Segues us into question 3 perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kept you in the business for over 3 decades when so many agents burn out?
I just love the business. I love working with people. I've made a lot of people very wealthy over the years. And, as the real estate market kept going up, helping families. And there's no better reward than that. I mean, I still go past houses. I'm texting, just people that he sold houses to 4 years ago. Your house is up 150 grand.
Awesome.
It's
Awesome.
150,000. I mean, think about it. That's life changing. So we're in a position where we can help families, and that's one of the things I'm trying to instill in my son now is that you're not here for just to show one house and sell the house. You're here to
Yeah.
build relationships.
Absolutely.
And I sold Maymoon his house.
Yeah.
And as over the years, we built a relationship. It's there's a trust. They're giving you their finances. They're
Sure.
giving you're finding out personal information, and they're getting, there's times when people are passing away, divorce. I mean, all kinds of super, super personal stuff that they're trusting their realtor, to help them, guide them through this, so it's, I'm court appointed by a couple of judges in town, like in the county. And there's so many avenues to make a living in this business. It's just, it's exciting.
Sure. And being honest and real, having compassion, I think that's one of the biggest things that stands apart, where you get into this business not for just the mighty dollar. When you actually lead with honesty, integrity, that's a secret to this business. And to have over 3 decades of continuing to help people. And it's like you walk by, I'm sure when you're in the car, he's driving by saying,
Oh,
I
yeah.
made
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy, this millionaire, that millionaire is
Those
pretty
ones I
cool.
can
That's so
remember.
great to
I
do.
sold this house. I sold that one. But to kind of piggyback off him, which I didn't even know this story, you did, like you were saying, you create relationships with people. And my Uncle Dave, I call him Uncle Dave. And I had no idea how they became friends.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he's saying he's showing Aunt Danielle a house. He goes, you got to meet my husband. He's real straight shooter, strict guy.
Difficult to deal with.
Okay.
Right. So difficult to deal with. And however long ago this was, sure enough, he continues to show them houses. And 2 years later, we're going down the shore with them.
Awesome.
And he's my Uncle Dave and Aunt Danielle, and I'm good friends with their kids. And it's just like, it's crazy how things work in this world. We're in a people's business. And I see it now. We just had a deal with a kid I used to wrestle with when I was 8.
So cool.
Rolling around, killing each other practically. And we just closed on a house, and I'm going over to play poker on Wednesdays and Thursdays, whenever it is.
And we got
and he's a great guy.
We
It's just
negotiated.
beautiful.
We negotiated the house being fully furnished.
Nice.
For $3,500.
Wow.
Oh, I've seen some
So
wild negotiations with
Yeah.
Joe.
yeah,
With Joe is insane. When it
Nice.
comes to negotiations, we just closed the deal next door 15 minutes ago. And Joe negotiated on his own, called me up. It's like, hey, Maymoon, 20,000. It's all worked out. Just do the addendum. $20,000 credit. You can edit this.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't worth a $20,000 credit, but we got
Yeah.
it anyway.
Sure.
But
Right?
They were on the
They were on the fence.
they were on the fence of backing out.
Mhm.
You know how much that helps a deal? 20,000 covers the closing costs,
Oh.
can
Oh,
cut
yeah.
the interest rate, cut the payments.
In this market,
and in
get-
a market where people are scared to ask for these things. And
In
I've
in
heard
this
this
market,
time and time
yeah,
again.
it's-
Joe, and Moon has told me many stories of tax situations that title companies can't figure out. And Joe knows the answer, was able to figure things out. So again, having
Yeah.
the
Lakeview.
history. Yeah.
Remember? So Lakeview.
What
let me
was
tell you.
that? Yeah.
So
Remember that?
Lakeview was just, I had a client, he owned 3 properties on Lakeview Ave in Clifton.
Yeah.
2 residential, 1 commercial. The commercial was in the middle. Right?
Okay. Wow.
He sold one years ago before I was ever knew the guy. He sold the one on the corner. And then he had some zoning issues. Took forever. He had an agent that just did not know what was going on, but he had a close relationship with the agent. And I kept on telling him, like, dude, you're never going to really get value, the top dollar for this property. He says Clifton, Lakeview Avenue. It's in a booming area. And he finally said, okay, I'll
Mhm.
listen. I connect him with Joe. We ended up selling the house for, I don't know how many $100,000 more.
300 more.
Yeah, $300,000 more. But what Joe came up with, so there was a parking issue, right? So the property in the middle needed more parking
Of course.
because it's going to be a doctor's
He
office.
already took he already took the parking.
Okay.
When he as he owned it.
Yeah, he owned the parking. So
Okay.
Joe says, why don't we carve out 2 parking spaces for the residential house, for the house next to it, and give the parking lot, the rest of it, to the commercial space.
So we created
And
an
we
easement.
created an easement for the
Wow.
2, and that was his idea.
His idea.
I
Because for zoning, you need that for commercial.
it was just
you know what I mean?
it made the deal happen for both properties.
Right. Because
Yeah.
because if you cut it down 50 by 100, he lost half his parking lot. So now it makes the commercial piece much less.
Okay.
So it was
Just worked
just
out.
being creative.
Yeah,
It's
for
just being
sure.
creative. It's just
Thinking
very
outside the box.
few
Yeah.
would have thought of that. And like
Mhm.
for us as attorneys, we don't go to the properties. We don't see the
Exactly.
layout. We don't know what
Sure,
it looks
sure.
like. You can go on Google Maps and see stuff, and I do that, but it's still, the agents are there. They're looking at the property. They understand the property.
Sure.
But I don't think anyone would have came up with that plan except Joe.
Basically a 25-foot easement. But we were concerned about the first floor tenant not having parking, and we gave them 2 spots on the bottom.
And I drive by there, and guess what? They still use those 2 spots. I see it all the time.
All right, we'll go with our next question, and that's for you too, Joe. What was going through your mind when your son finally said, you know what, baseball is my passion, I'm stopping, I want to be full force into real estate? And to you, what made you decide to follow dad's footsteps? So it's kind of a question for both of you here.
Phone, I get the phone to ring a lot, and there's only so much you can do. So, and now with this market changing and there's low inventory, open houses have been a big lead generator.
Of course.
So I have him working the open houses with me. And his first year, he knocked it out of the park.
Awesome.
His second year, I don't really have to even babysit him anymore.
Wonderful.
He just runs with it. So it's been exciting. He's got other opportunities coming back with baseball
Of course.
again.
Of course.
And I'm like, oh man, I need him. I don't want him to get this opportunity. No, but if it's an opportunity that's pretty exciting, baseball facility,
Yep.
something pretty big.
Sure.
So he's been it's been a blessing. It's been a
Wonderful.
blessing. So I just would you don't have that many opportunities to work with your kids. you
Sure.
know? And through baseball, I can't tell you how many hours I'm at the ball field, batting cages. So now I'm working with them. It's just, it's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of just grew up in real estate
Sure.
because I mean, he being in real estate, you have the luxury of working your own hours,
Sure.
being your own boss, and he was our chauffeur.
He was there to support you.
He was there to support me, and I see myself doing it now. He never listens to music. When I was driving to games with my buddies,
He's
He
making
was
his
always on the
calls.
phone,
he's
of
making
course.
his calls,
Of course.
and he's talking to
My kids, listen to
whoever's
that.
dad,
Everyone
whoever.
listen.
We never listen to music, and now I'm wondering why that was, and I'm doing
Now
the
you
same exact
know.
thing.
Yeah.
Can't
So-
get off the phone.
Can't get off the phone.
Or it's nice to just be in silence sometimes. Just
You
gather your
know,
thoughts.
I got to say too, you know how hard it is, because it's been said to me before, where people say, all you do is answer your phone. How hard is it to make that phone ring in this industry for all of us? That's
We're
very
blessed that it keeps ringing.
Exactly.
That's the job.
Exactly.
And a lot of realtors are waiting for the phone to ring. You have to make
Exactly.
the phone ring. It's a big difference.
Mhm.
So
There's a gem right there. Say that again.
Say that one more time.
He just dropped a gem on.
Did you hear it?
I did. I don't even know what the hell I said.
You said a lot of realtors are waiting for the phone to
They're waiting
ring.
for
You
the
got to
phone
make
ring.
the phone
You got to
ring.
make the phone ring.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Make the phone ring.
Make the
Yeah,
phone
make the
ring.
for sure.
I make it ring instead. I make it ring.
I make it rain. We make it
make it
ring.
ring, I'll
That's
make it
right.
ring.
That's it.
I like that.
Well, you don't know where business is coming from.
You know.
It's one
Yeah.
phone call of, hey, how are the kids?
Absolutely.
You know, Joe, they're in college. Come on, give us
Yeah.
a price on the house.
Right.
You don't know
Sure.
where people are.
Mhm.
And I when I first started in the business, I think I was doing 12 million in business, and I'm working my ass off. I mean, I can't. The kids are born now, and I'm like, I got this nut. I got a new house.
Sure.
I got all of this stuff, and I'm like, wow, I'm killing myself. Then the internet comes, and there was an agent in I believe she was in Texas, and so now you could see what other people are doing. And I was like one of the top agents at the time. Do 12 to 14 million. Houses were 200,000. So you got to sell a lot.
It's
a
a
lot.
big, yeah, it's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
Of,
It's a
know?
lot.
That's volume. Yeah.
We're doing volume, and she did 49 million. I'm like, how is that even possible? So I'm going through the internet. So I was probably one of the first in the area to have a real estate coach.
Wow.
Who was your coach?
I had Tony Robbins.
He's still around.
I
Mm-hmm.
had Dirk Zeller personally. Dirk, I don't know if you ever heard of Dirk Zeller.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I only let him be my coach. He was my coach for maybe 2 years, 3 years. I'm actually in his book. He has because he said to me, he goes, "What's your mom do for a living?" I go, "She's a beautician." I go, "Oh yeah, how much business did she give you?"
Nothing.
Christ, my mother never gave me any business.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What do you mean? Your mom's a beautician?" So the coaching calls over. I hang up, "Ma, how could you not give me any business? Like, are you kidding me?
Come
Like,
on,
you're in
Ma."
the beauty salon business. You
Every
know-
next client,
you
she's throwing
know
them something.
everything.
Sure.
So the calls were at the time. I think the calls were once a week. By next week, I had 2 listing appointments
Awesome.
from my mom
That's it.
Yeah.
because you have to ask for the business.
Sure.
You have
If
to
you
ask
don't
for the business.
ask for the business, you're not getting the business.
Everyone has to know what you do.
At
Everybody
all
has to know the
times.
business.
Everyone has
At
to
all
know.
That's
times.
the
Yeah.
truth.
And
Yep.
and so with the coach, then the next thing they told me was get an assistant. I'm like, get an assistant.
Yeah, you got to spend that, and
spend
yeah.
money. And the statistic is, you get an assistant, you double your business.
How long have you had Lisa?
I've had Lisa. Lisa's not my first assistant, but I've had her 22 years.
Shout out Lisa.
See, I just right away. I said, how long have
Shout out Lisa.
Lisa knows
runs
the
whole
business. Yeah, she
She's-
runs.
Oh, yeah.
she's-
She's
she's
so
all the
important.
paperwork.
best.
She gets
Yeah.
everything out.
She's
She
the
sets up the
best.
emails.
Yeah.
She's
He
amazing.
won't even call me. He'll call
Yeah.
Lisa.
Lisa
need
gets
it
me.
done.
Well, I call you when I
No,
want
but
to talk
I'm saying
about
that she
Joe
knows-
Jr. Talk about
He
baseball.
knows the business
The
inside
fun
and out.
stuff, right?
And I try to coach other agents and talk to them about it. A lot of times they won't get that assistant. Then eventually they get the assistant.
Better late than never.
You got to work. You only get a certain amount of hours in a day. You got to work smart, and you have to learn, people.
Right.
We're in a
Absolutely.
people business.
Absolutely. This one's for Joe Jr. What is one life lesson Dad always instilled in you, no matter what? You probably got a bunch. That's
I definitely
give me
have a
one.
bunch.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. To give me one, I mean, just from a young age, you just hard work, hard work pays off. I told him from a young age that I wanted to play baseball and the college and the professional level. I said, okay, well, you got to put in the work. And from as early as I can remember, I had a hitting coach when I was in 6th grade, 5th grade. And from there, the rest is history. But and he would get me all the toys for baseball. I had the cage in my garage, and it's who I am as a person. And credit to him.
You're a great dad, Joe.
Don't get me wrong.
Shout that out.
We've
It's
had
important.
our battles on the phone talking about striking out and all that good stuff. But for as long as I can remember, I was always working out or hitting, or he hired a personal coach for me when I was in college. And it was just all the things that he's done himself is instilled in who I am.
Did the coach hang out in your dorm?
No, it was all
kidding.
virtual, but that was wild.
Oh, it was virtual. Okay.
We did Zoom calls, and he was my coach, and
I had a sports.
That's
psychologist.
an elite mentality
he was a
right there.
sports
It's elite
psychologist, and he
for
worked
sure.
with guys like, if anybody who's UFC guy, George St. Pierre, who was
course.
a champion, and it
Legend.
It was crazy, but
Legend.
just hard work. It never stops.
There's no secret. It's hard work. That's it.
Was just, and now I'm translating it into my everyday life, and it's.
I got to get him to start
now.
making the calls.
Making the calls.
That's the hard part. So through baseball, and through real estate and making phone calls, because that's all you do is make calls and try to meet people. I tracked down Aaron Rodgers, hitting coach.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Rodgers.
That's all right. That's all right.
Aaron Judge is hitting coach.
Yeah.
And I sent him to Ohio 3 days.
Yeah.
This was the Cecil Fielder guy too, right? Or that was someone else? I remember that one.
Cecil Fielder gave him private hitting
Yeah,
lessons.
Cecil Fielder. Like, Joe's all in.
I was out of control.
Yeah.
But he wanted to do this, and I didn't know. I played baseball, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
So I got the best that I could
Sure.
get and surrounded him with the best people.
Yeah.
And that's how I built my business: is surround myself with the best mortgage reps,
Sure.
the best attorneys,
Sure.
the best home inspectors, and then your clients are going to benefit from all that.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably another thing that you say a lot is surround yourself with good, successful
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
It tells me all the time.
It's a team, right?
It's a team, and it's contagious. When you're around successful people, it brings your energy up. You want to be that performer. You want to perform at that high level.
Yeah.
We're vibing at a high level.
That's been
We
his
are.
thing the last.
It's a vibe.
months.
It is.
Vibing at a
Yes.
high
You
level.
gotta vibe at a high
You got to
level.
vibe at a high level.
But it's contagious. for
Top
sure.
shelf.
When you see people that are down, it's
This business can
Brings you
knock the
down.
crap
Brings you
out of
down.
you. Like,
Mhm.
we're always, sellers are, in a tough spot financially. There's always, whenever you're dealing with money, you're dealing with personalities. You got so many things going on.
Especially now with like the cost of everything. There's so much anxiety especially for buyers. There's a lot of anxiety.
And I could imagine the sellers, they think their house is worth so much and they've owned it for so long, and it's up to you guys to really bring them down to reality and instill that trust. So when you have, it's what we talk about, a team. When you have the team and the lenders in place and the attorneys in place
And everyone's
and the realtors
consistent in the
It's gonna be
information that they're
smooth.
giving.
Yeah.
Right. If you're saying one thing and I'm saying another thing, it's not a good look.
Joe, for you, what habit or discipline has helped you become a top producer year in, year out?
Probably what I used to take Joseph to the diner with for
yeah.
every year before baseball season. Goals, plan the goal, schedule it, and stick to the schedule.
Love it.
And
So
that's-
goal,
have-
plan the goal,
Yes.
schedule it, and stick to the schedule.
Right. So there's a formula for everything. So for baseball, it was I had to get him hitting lessons. I had to we had to get to the gym. We had to
Yeah.
and we wrote it all down. The goals were this, and for real estate, it's it might be production. It might be. And I used to say I want to do one big deal a year, not in a commercial side of it. And then all of a sudden, I'm selling a foreclosed office townhome complex on Hamburg Turnpike, and I dug it up, and so it's just where you put your energy.
Yeah, see, it's easy to write things down, right? Anyone can write their
Yeah,
goals
but
down,
to
but the
execute-
discipline
to
to execute
execute is
it
a whole
and do it day
different-
in, day out. A lot
So,
of people
so
don't
for
have
those
that.
that don't know, and I quote me, I think it's 25 years that you are platinum. Is it 25 years?
I'm the only agent in Passaic County that's been platinum every year since its inception.
For those that don't know, platinum is 25 transactions per year, at least 25 minimum.
It's 20. It used to be 25 million. They lowered it now.
Oh, it's the dollar
Now
amount.
they
Dollar
lowered it
amount,
to
yeah.
20 million
So it's 20 million up.
And
It used to be
and I think
25 million
and 40 plus transactions.
and 40 plus transactions
Amazing,
per year.
Joe.
25
Amazing, Joe.
years in a
God
row.
bless.
The
Honestly.
only agent in the entire county that
That's a
has that
flex.
on his resume. Super flex.
Super flex.
Yeah, that's
When
a
I
super
used to do
flex.
bank foreclosures, one year I sold 156 houses.
Nice.
That's,
How much did you make that year?
That
No, I'm just kidding.
that was a crazy. That was a crazy year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. This one's a little personal between the two of you. Maybe you've already expressed these sentiments to each other. What's one thing you admire about each other that you probably don't say enough? Junior, we'll start with you. Don't
Nah,
get
what are
too
we gonna
mushy.
do? What are we
That's
gonna
why you gotta get a
do?
little mushy. It's
Keeping it real.
you almost got mushy already once.
I mean, I admire his work ethic, but I think I admire more just how he can connect with anybody. You know, he's big on telling stories and being a storyteller and finding that connection with people. He's got that special personality where people love him. And if he loves you, he's going to go above and beyond to help you and pull a rabbit out of the hat or find that property that's off the market to get that deal for a friend or a family member. And it's
The kids,
you know,
the
it's-
kids
it's-
call it aura these days. That's the word.
Yeah,
He's got aura.
That's before me. I'm not saying that.
I'm just shouting out the young bucks
The
'cause
young bucks.
They're
yeah,
always
for
getting
sure.
killed, but that's the
But
word.
I mean, he's just I respect and appreciate how he treats my friends, how he treats my girlfriend, how he treats everybody the same, and no matter who you are.
I give him a little shit once in a while.
You got
well,
it.
yeah,
that's-
Your
I
dad.
I gotta rough him up.
You gotta
little
put
bit.
the
You
dad's
gotta-
hat
don't
on.
get me
Gotta
wrong.
sharpen
once
the
in a
teeth
while.
a little bit,
Yeah,
you
don't
know,
get
of
me wrong.
course.
His friends, they got nicknames and
All right.
and
Yeah.
I'm throwing them,
Don't get me wrong. He does bust my chops, and if I bust his chops, I can't really say too much. So,
Sounds like there was a lot of love too there, though.
yeah, of course. I mean, the amount of hours
Sure.
I spent
Love
talking
it.
to this guy, not just in real estate before this,
Yeah.
with baseball. I talked to him after every game, practice, for as long as I can remember. So it's
he used to wrestle,
Oh,
and
yeah, here
he
we go.
didn't like losing. He would get off the mat and bang his head against the locker. I'm like,
Explains a lot.
what are you doing? And in baseball, same thing. You know, if he didn't hit a home run or a double, or he wasn't having a good game, strikes out, and I'm giving it to him a little bit, he would get pissed off. I go, Joe, I'm the only one on your team. Like, so when you fail, you should be looking for me. You look for your parents. You know,
Sure.
when you fail, look for your parents, because your parents want nothing but good for you.
100%.
You know what I mean? So, and then, but it took him a while in sports, because who wants to fail? You know, but then you start to realize you're going to fail in baseball. I mean,
It's
that's the game.
it's
that's
a
the
fail
game,
a
it's a
sport
fail.
a sport full of failure.
Yep.
Right. And then as soon as he started to mature and accept that piece of it, he'd be coming off the field. What did I do? You know, did I take a big enough lead? Like there was always something.
Yeah.
I always tease him. My other buddy, his son was a great ball player. Him and I would get on them in the car in the back on the
Oh,
way,
jeez, yeah.
and they finally figured it out. They would fall asleep, but they didn't fall asleep.
They were just eyes closed. That's
They
it.
were eyes closed. They both pretend to fall asleep,
And just
and I look at him,
avoid
I'm
the
like,
shit.
You believe
Yeah.
this? You believe this?
Yep.
So like,
Can't
are we
handle the
gonna- Are we
truth.
gonna wake them up? but they weren't sleeping.
That's
So
great.
it's part of being a parent. You know, you try to instill things into them, and listen, it was a great run. Now we're doing it in real estate. So
Another great run.
it's-
But you're avoiding the question. You don't want to get mushy on us, Joe, huh? So again, what's one thing you admire about each other that you probably don't say enough?
My son is he's got a big heart. He loves his friends. He loves his family. When he'll he'll call me and he'll get emotional on the phone, telling me he loves me.
Love it. Love it.
Usually a New Year's Eve.
It's usually
It doesn't
it's
matter.
usually-
Alcohol involved.
Doesn't matter.
Couple
Love
beers
it.
involved.
Maybe a little
Like,
bit.
It loosens
are
you up.
Driving?
I'm
Hey,
a bush
driving?
when I drink. What do you want?
I just
from
want
me?
to
all
know
right.
how much you mean to me. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
How many have you had?
It's all good. It's all good. But he's got a heart of gold.
All right, last question. If you could give one piece of advice to a brand new agent just getting their license and they're watching this right now, they just passed that test, what would it be, gentlemen?
Oh, you go first. I got to think about this one.
Surround yourself with the right people. Ask questions. Do whatever you can to learn. Whether you're watching, I would go on YouTube and watch people cold calling because I didn't really know what to do. I didn't have the answers, and sometimes you're not gonna have the right answers. But surround yourself with successful people that you want to be around. You're always learning in this business. There's always gonna be something new. Pick up the phone and
Pick it
call
up.
people.
I would say if you're new to the business, find an agent that you look up to and admire, that you like. Because some agents, they may be top producers, but you might not like them as a person. Find an agent that you like that's a top producer, and take them for a cup of coffee and try to get on their team. Top producing agents will never turn down a hungry, young, aggressive new agent. It's because you're kind of the gopher. You're going to go do this or do that or drive over here, go over here, drop this off.
Amazing.
So you're coming to you'll shadow them, end up doing open houses like he's doing with me. You can't speak to everybody at an open house. So like, he got me a listing in Pines Lake just recently. His friend was talking to him and said, my mom's really not happy with the price. And she's like, you think you can come, just tell me what you think it's worth. And he gets off the phone and he comes by me and I'm like, Joe, that's a listing appointment. Like, did you hear what she said? And within a half hour, I had Lisa, my assistant, had all of the listing paperwork, the folder, everything.
Amazing.
We're over at her house. In 45 minutes, we had the listing. We had told her 50,000 higher than what the other agent had told her. I said it would probably sell for maybe $850. We were listing it for $799. We got her $913. Where you want to hang out with that top producer is you want to listen to what they're saying. I negotiated that deal, and all of the offers weren't at nine change. We had some high eights.
Mhm.
So creating the excitement of, hey, you want this place? I got a lot of offers. So then you give that information to the other agents that have the buyers, and next thing you know,
It's going up.
913's coming in. So, I played a huge part in that.
Incredible.
So you want to be able to share that with the new agents because they'll hear it. I'll never lie, but negotiating is an art. But you're not going to figure it out unless you go through the motions, unless you hear pros, unless So you want to surround yourself with the best people you can surround yourself
I'm
with.
loving this show. There's no gatekeeping. You got great agents that are giving the recipe to people. And I hope everyone's listening because if just little pieces of this episode, what both of you guys have said, if you can walk away, someone's going to gather another listing today. Someone's going to answer the call they don't want to, make the call they don't want to actually make.
Well, competition is good.
100%.
Also,
You've been telling me that forever.
Competition is good.
Yeah.
You want to have others out there that you can compete against and people to compare you. I'm in this business for 18 years and I'm able to compare Joe with the other agents.
Sure.
I'm able to compare John with the other agents. And the best, they shine. And you're able, if you've never dealt with anyone, like if you're a first-time home buyer and they do it to me, like I'm their attorney, it's their first time buying, they think that what I do, and I'm not trying to brag, is the standard. It's the norm.
Right.
It's not. What
No.
Joe does is
Mooney's
not
giving
standard.
his
It's
cell
not the
phone
norm.
out, and at 11 o'clock, he's getting you out of AR. It isn't the standard. I think the competition, like you said, is so important. It actually makes our job a little easier because when we look at the competition that's out there, they're lazier. They're not doing what you do. They're not
don't
doing
care
what
as
you
much.
do. Yeah. So
Well, and you have to listen. So last year he's new to the business, and he took one of our buyers from an open house to a house in Kinnelon. It was on for one.
okay.
he comes back. He goes, "Hey, Dad, they really liked it." And I was looking at the house, and he's like,
The day it came on the market.
It was the day. It was the day they came on the market,
Mhm.
and he said they're going through a divorce. I go, "They're going through a divorce?"
The buyers?
The sellers.
Okay.
The sellers are going through a divorce. I go, "You're kidding me." I said, "Get them up to 1.2, 1.25, somewhere in that range." I'm on the phone with the other realtor. I said, "Listen, we want the house off the market. What's it going to take?" Because I knew it was underpriced. The realtors, you don't realize that realtors are underpricing houses to get bidding wars. So when you're on the buyer side, you got to take that opportunity and handle it. If you're in a divorce, there's somebody in the divorce that don't want you coming in the house. They want this on and off the market as
Done
quickly
quick.
And there's
Right.
like a number in their head
Sure.
that they've already figured out.
If
You
I
see
get
that right
this-
there? That's huge.
Yeah, if I get
Yeah.
this, I'm going to be in good shape. So I call the realtor, and the realtor's a savvy agent. He's like, I said, "Listen, I want this house off the market today. What's it going to take?" It was $1.4 million. I go, "Get the hell out of here, $1.4 million." He goes, "I'm not going to negotiate against myself."
Make an offer.
We went and got the offer. We put it on $1.2 million on the table. It's 100 over asking. And he comes back. He goes, "You give us $1.25 million. It's yours."
And you say no open houses, nothing under contract.
No. So this is where Maymoon comes in.
Boom.
So
Bring us in. Bring us
so-
home, Moon.
So Maymoon. So, and I never did this before.
Yeah.
Until I met Maymoon. So
Okay.
just heads up to. But anyway, so
To go 42.
they go $1.25 million. I think we got it for $1.225 million.
Yeah.
$1.225 million done. I said I called Maymoon. I go, "I need this in and out of off the market by tomorrow morning." So I gave him the contract at 4:00. Ryder was out by 4:30. He knew the attorney. The attorney had and it was a fair offer.
Sure, of
So
course.
They weren't stealing
Yeah, of
it, but
course.
it was a
Yeah,
it was a fair
Just
offer.
didn't want it to go to the market.
Yeah.
So 9:00 in the morning, he got the response from the seller's attorney. Now I'm doing this 36 years. I've never had an attorney do this for me. 9:00 in the morning, we got the response. Calls them up. He goes, "Listen, we can agree to almost all of this stuff." They go, "Done." It was out of attorney review by 10 a.m. So they had in the computer open house on Saturday and Sunday. He had to cancel it. We're out of attorney review. The realtor called me. He goes, "What the hell did you do?" He goes, "We're out of attorney review. The realtors are going out of their mind in my office because they all told their buyers,
Show
hey,
up.
go
We got
to
a
the
new
open
property,
house."
hot property.
Uh-huh.
Mooney.
When you get the call from Joe Simone,
Yeah.
you do it.
Yeah.
No,
That's the lesson there.
But that's working together
That is.
Sure.
and
Yeah,
listening
that was
and
nice.
listening to the story from the sellers and what their situation
That's
is.
teamwork.
And then solving a problem.
You couldn't have drawn it up any better.
And those people were happy. Their house is off the market. I don't have to have any strangers coming through my
Sure.
house.
Mhm.
It's just a great and I think the people that bought it they're just like they couldn't thank us enough.
Yeah. This is
It's a
what we do.
win-win for
It's
everybody.
what we do. We make dreams come true for our clients,
Yeah.
and we get paid to do it. It's really
It's really
pretty good
rewarding.
shake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very rewarding.
It is. We're down to our clear to close.
Oh, we're clear to close.
Yeah.
We're clear to
So,
close.
yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So this is our clear to close time.
Yeah.
Nothing better than the CTC. So our
Clear to close.
CTC has a little bit of a twist. It's a multiple choice, a little easier.
It's easier. It's fast paced. We don't want you to think about this too hard. We're
All
going to
right.
ask you the questions. It's A, B,
Not that
C,
hard.
D.
Come on,
They're
it's not
very
that hard.
simple questions. You got to go and
All right.
answer
You both
them.
got to answer. You can answer the same. You obviously can answer different.
Yeah.
First question: what builds a real estate career faster? Open houses, cold calling, relationships and referrals, social media.
Personally, it's the open houses for me.
Okay.
Open houses.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
open houses.
Yeah. But you're asking the quickest, right?
Yeah.
Faster.
What
yeah.
builds a real
So
estate
you do an
faster?
Open house, you got 30 people coming to your house. So now that's the other thing. Now that he's on board, it's like I feel like I'm always performing because I want him to hear it,
You want him to see it.
see it
Right.
the right way,
Mhm.
and so you're trying to win 30 people over. So that the people that we closed today, they came
Open
to the
house.
open house.
Yep.
They had another realtor, and they said, "You know what? We want to work with you." So you have to win people over, and you're not going to win them over, but long term, probably social media. But,
Especially now.
but
Yeah.
fast,
Especially now.
fast turn, quick. If you want to build quick, you're getting 30 real buyers.
It's a numbers game.
You're getting 30 real buyers through your open house. Keep in mind, social media. You can't do social media until you get your first listing.
Right.
You can't do social media, till you have you have something to
You have a little
about.
track record.
You have a
Absolutely.
little right. So it's in the beginning, open houses, you're getting real buyers immediately.
It's where I think I earned my stripes in this business. So we talk about as a younger loan officer in the industry, when I started at 19, I never, like Memorial Day weekend, July 4th, I would be at every open house. I'd hand out my cards to everyone.
Right.
And just like Joe said, they could be working with another lender. Then they get to meet you firsthand,
Right.
see how you do business, show your personality, they see that you really care. And I say to all the loan officers, I've personally been responsible for putting so many of the Trinity Lending Company loan officers at open houses. My previous company, there's always open house opportunities that I'm so grateful that I have so many great realtor relationships to put them in place. And at that point, it's what you do with those
Right.
real connections.
Right.
And like you just said, someone came in with a realtor and left with Joe. I'll bring Joe to the bar, right?
No, there's no. We had a buyer's agreement signed. But,
We did.
all of those 9 out of 10 times, all of those leads from the mortgage company,
Yeah,
they've never met the mortgage rep. So if you're at an open house, you're meeting the person.
absolutely.
Right. And this is where I'm trying to teach my son about vibing at a high level.
Yeah,
Because when you're vibing at a high level, everybody wants to deal with you.
it's true.
Right, yeah.
But if you're like, oh yeah, you want to see this? All right, go. Yeah, and you're bumming out.
Energy is
Energy
big.
is
Energy's
big.
huge.
Yeah, it's
and
so
if you
big.
if you have the energy, it's who doesn't want to work with somebody that's
Like
fun
that.
to deal with?
Yeah, that's up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
Energy is
It's-
huge. That's what I live for.
a vibe.
I would
like
say
you
that
said.
when I was in high school, I tell a story. I'm a storyteller. There were a couple girls in school that every time I saw them, they put a smile on my face. We were just friends, and I had a couple friends that are still my dear friends. That every time I saw them, I just smile on my face. I said, "That's work. Like you don't just do that. Like you have to work at that."
Yeah, there's some people that are in your life that every single time you hear from them or see them, they bring the energy.
Because
And it's
you
contagious.
Absolutely.
You feel happiness.
It's contagious.
and you feel love.
That can't be faked, by the way.
No.
Right.
You know, you
Oh,
can
no,
you can instantly tell when someone's bringing that fake love or just not being authentic. So this is a high energy room right here. We're all right. I
And
feel
you-
it off everyone here.
And you learn from people. I remember one of my friends. Every time I walked in the room, it was, "Hey, Joe Simone." It was first name, last name, and he did it to everybody. He was the world's greatest salesman, in my opinion. Like it was when you walked in there, the room just became alive. And bring that to your life. Who's not going to want to work with you? You know,
Right.
you have to have that energy.
Sure. All right. Question number 2: which matters more long term? Is it marketing? Is it your reputation? Is it the relationships? Or is it your adaptability to change with the market?
I would say your relationships. I'm that kind of guy where I want to create a relationship with my clients. I tell everybody, listen, this is your first time home buying. I'm going to show you what I can do with the hope of I'm your agent for the rest of your life. And that's, I think, the beauty of this business that we're in. It's not just a one and done. It's, okay, I have a good relationship with you. I'm going to send my sister over to you, or
Sure.
when my parents need to downsize. And I think that's the beauty of this business that we're in. It's a relationship business. That's pretty good, right? You're going to say the same thing?
Who do you think taught you? Like, what the hell are you talking about? He's taking all my.
You can't give me
Hey,
any
just
credit.
look, I
You
just
can't
looked
give me
at-
any credit.
I just
Good
looked at
answer.
Joe was like,
It's a relationship business. You
Yeah.
better be saying that it's a relationship business. That's good stuff.
yeah, that was you gave the answer for both.
Yeah.
so.
It's
good stuff. All right, next one. Biggest mistake new agents make: chasing shiny objects, quitting too early, not learning the numbers, or trying to do everything alone.
There were times where I was thinking about quitting the business. I was like, what am I doing here? Well, I don't know what I'm doing yet. And you might be 3, 4, 5 years down the road. You still might not know the answers to some of these things. You still might have that slow month.
Yeah, because you're not getting
It's-
paid like a regular
it
job
can
here.
be
So yeah,
Intimidating.
Sure.
And it was. Don't get me wrong. But it's the grind, and you just have to embrace it. And it's, like I said, just surrounding yourself with the people that are going to guide you and help you and continue to work hard at your craft.
So don't quit too early. Don't give
quit
up.
too early.
That's the
Don't quit too
baseball
early.
Yeah.
coming out.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it don't quit too early. I in the beginning of my career, it's 90s. The market was shit. It was a crap. My first real estate company that I worked for.
What were the rates? Do you remember?
Oh my God, I think they were like 11%.
For everyone listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was a little segue. Thank you, Jeff.
11%. But the houses were so I always tell this story is I'm in the office and my boss that I bought the 3-family from, because I went to work for him, he's got like 6 guys in the back in the office, and the doors are closed, but they're kind of closed. And all of a sudden it was like a scene right out of the movies. Papers are flying, F-bombs left and right, and you screwed me, you this, you that. They were all pissed off because my boss sold them brownstones in Hoboken.
I was gonna say Hoboken.
Oh
In
my
Hoboken.
God.
And he sold them at the time for 2.25.
I wish he pissed me off that way.
But he sold them for 2.25 to 240. And I remember driving down to Hoboken. I didn't even know where Hoboken was, when I first got into the business. He couldn't sell them for 185. 185.
Bring us back.
These
What are those homes worth now?
$2 million. $2 million. So
More.
But getting back to
Come on, Mom and Dad. Why didn't you buy a brownstone
right.
in the 90s?
You could have easily you just did the math.
Yeah.
Like you were not thinking like that. But I'm saying to not get out of the business too soon. The electric gets turned off at my company that I work for, and I'm like, I got to get out of this place. And I bought a 2-family from Gene Lowe, and he said, "Come work for me. My dad always goes to Florida. You and I are going to run the place, and blah blah blah." And he gave me a
Preakness.
Preakness Realty
Yep.
at the time. Yeah. And I went there. So now I'm in the business 2 years and I'm going to Preakness Realty. And I remember asking Gene how to fill out a contract. So I'm in the business 2 years and I
Wow.
still don't even remember how to fill out a contract properly. So I could have easily quit. And then, but success, there's it's out there. With the internet, you could figure it out. You can figure it out. So my son's working on a big commercial deal right now. And I'm saying a big deal, bigger than I've ever worked on before.
Awesome.
And it's all coming together. And if God willing, it's going to happen. And all of a sudden he stops, he's like slowing down, asking me questions. And I'm like, what is going on? He's like, oh, ChatGPT.
Uh-oh.
So he's taking these legal questions he's getting from the attorney review writers and he's plugging it into ChatGPT and he's getting the answer. He's been in the business 2 years. So
It's interesting.
there's easy ways. There's ways to figure stuff out.
For the record, chat is not going to replace the attorneys.
No,
No.
not at all. No, because
that's not possible.
We can just have computers start talking to each other. It's
No, but
not
he
going to
started-
work,
I'm
but it's
not-
good to get the
But he
information.
started to know the proper
The terminology.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Of
He
course.
started to learn the
Yeah,
terminology.
well, I
it's
get
it's
those
good
when-
to
And I'm like,
understand
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
for yourself.
Guys, I said it
Knowledge is
when
king.
Gene was here. Like, I'll get a first-time home buyer that doesn't know anything, and then I get this like list of questions,
Right.
and I call the client up right away, and I'm like, "Do you want me to copy and paste this and have the computer answer what you just asked, or let's
Right.
talk about why you're asking me these questions, and
Right.
let's talk about how you're not even ready for half of these questions. You know, you're not pre-approved yet. We don't know your budget. You can't be asking about APR and
Yeah,
this and that. We're not there yet. So again, we go back to how this world is changing and we have to be at the top of our craft. And that's just another tool that he has access to,
Right.
but you're always going to need your mentors and going back to Gene too, because I didn't realize. So Gene was like, so he was kind of your mentor growing.
Gene was my mentor. Yeah.
and we
and I-
forgot to ask him, how many people has Gene Lowe mentored
Well,
in his career?
Gene, when I went there, I tried to be Gene. You can't be Gene. you got to be yourself.
Of course.
Because I tried to do business the way Gene does, and he's a workhorse. He's probably the hardest working guy I've ever been around.
Nice.
But he handles things differently than I handle.
You have a different style.
You have to be yourself.
Yeah, of
You have to
course.
be- you have to be authentic.
It won't
Alright.
last if you're not yourself. Let's just say that.
Never does. All right, this is a great one. If you two were on a reality show together, okay, putting you two on a reality show together, which one would it be? Will it be Survivor, Amazing Race, Shark Tank, or Family Feud? What would you guys want to be on?
Let's play the feud.
My father
I gotta hear
has
this.
had countless ideas. I think Shark Tank would be right up his
Okay,
alley.
cool.
Where he's like, let's do this. Look at what about this idea? Or what about this invention? So I think he would thrive. We don't have the invention.
Yeah.
But
We
he
got
would
one, right,
definitely-
Joe?
Yeah.
We got
Someone's
one
making
right
an
now.
offer.
We got one. We
All
don't know
right.
if it's there yet.
All
but
right. Keep
But
it
looks-
going. This is why we ask these
It
questions.
looks like it might.
Would you agree to Shark Tank?
In this business, I'm probably going with Survivor.
Survivor.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm probably going with Survivor.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
tough.
This business knocks you around, man.
Oh, yeah.
You got to survive.
Yeah.
You know, you got to
Yeah.
survive.
Oh, yeah, it
This
does.
is a the turtle wins the race.
Oh, yeah.
Another gem. He dropped another gem. That's what, 3?
We
got
have
3 gems. Okay.
Yeah.
We're
Four or
gonna
five.
we're gonna
If we
clip
really
these
dissect
gems.
these.
Yeah.
We dissect these. There's 4 or 5 in there.
Yeah.
All right. What separates top producers from everyone else? Discipline, systems, mindset. The last one's all the above. I'm not giving them that
no,
cop
don't give
out.
them that one. Yeah.
Discipline, systems, mindset. Top producers. What separates them?
Better be right.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I'm
That has the
On the
answer
way to
already.
being a top
Let's
producer.
go.
Back to baseball.
systems, right? You always talk about your systems and having them in place.
My mindset.
Nice.
Mindset. Okay. Well, now I
Mindset.
know.
Love it.
If you're not thinking you're the best, you ain't the best.
You ain't
Yeah,
the
that is
best.
what it
You're
is.
You
not-
can't. It's no accidents. You can't
Yeah.
just suddenly. Oh well. Good
So-
luck. I got luck.
Don't take arrogance.
I'm giving them all my secrets here.
Sure. No, it's all right.
But my coach says, what do you want to be? What your goal? My goal was be the #1 agent in the county. And he says, okay. And I think at the time, probably Gene was the #1 agent. And he says to me, he goes, did you tell anybody? I go, what do you mean? He goes, you tell anybody you're the #1 agent in the county? I'm like, no. He goes, well, if you don't start telling people you're the best agent, they're not going to know you're the best agent. I start telling people because I'm following my coach. I'm, whatever, I'm 30 years old. And I start telling people I'm the best in the business. I said, no one's going to outwork me. And I'm going to get you the house. And I'm going to this and I'm gonna whatever. And as soon as you start telling people that, when the phone rings, you got to answer it.
Right.
When the beeper rings, you got to
Sure.
return the call.
Sure.
When the email comes,
Sure.
you can't go 2 days without returning the email. If you're telling somebody you're the best, and now all of a sudden you're not
You're setting an
performing,
expectation.
So you're setting up the expectation, and then all of a sudden I started hearing my clients. I'd be out to lunch or whatever, and I'd be like, "Hey, this is my realtor. He's the best in the business." Like he was literally repeating what I told him, and so I started. I'm not, but they only believe what they believe, right? So if you're not telling them you're the best,
Mindset. It's powerful. You really, Moon, do you believe you're the best?
That's not even a doubt. in
I
my
know
mind.
you're the best. And that's how I
That's
feel
easy.
too. Sometimes people mistake that confidence as like arrogance or look at this guy, he thinks he's the best. But I really believe that personally, I am the best in my business. There's some great other lenders out
Yeah,
there.
oh,
But
there's-
I believe I am the best, just like you believe you're the best, just like you believe you're the
There's
best
a lot
attorney.
of good attorneys. and
Sure. It's a great lot
It's
of great
just-
lenders, but was it DJ Khaled? Who
We don't never.
we know
ever-
that's right. I
ever
wanted to
bring
go
that
there.
name
Yeah,
up in
sorry. You're right.
You're gonna get me going.
No, we
DJ
can. We can
Khaled.
always go there. So
I'm like, where is he? He's at the bottom of my shoe.
There we
He's
are.
down here, DJ
but
Khaled.
we are this crew right here are the best in the industry.
right.
There's others that are out there, but I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe you're one of the best. I believe you're one of the best. I believe you're
I
one
tell
of the best.
clients that I'm the best when I
Yeah.
talk to them.
You
I
had-
tell
you
them
had-
I'm
you had a
the
coach?
I don't have a coach. It's just
Yeah.
life experiences.
But when
I
you
think
tell them,
I tell them I'm the
then
best.
they're telling other people that you're the best.
Sure.
I tell them I'm the
You're-
best,
you're-
especially when they start to ask about
You're
the fee.
programming them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is that Moon's fee is he gets what he deserves to be paid, and it's been an issue for me and my clients sometimes. So when I say, listen, do you want the best, or do you want the best rate?
Big difference.
The big difference.
Will you agree with me that the attorneys are the least compensated in the transaction, and they really, it's not right. So I like that I've always set your bar, Maymoon, for your fee, because you really keep a deal together at all times, right? Like, because you can go back and forth with your with the
Attorneys
listing
are-
agent.
Attorneys are super important.
Huge.
They can easily blow up a deal.
Sure.
You don't know what their agenda is, why, or whatever. But when they're talking to the seller or they're talking
Yeah.
to the buyer, with you not on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't guide that. So you got to surround yourself with good attorneys.
Yeah, you got to just care. That's really the key thing for me, is that I actually care for the clients, for the other professionals involved in the transaction,
Right.
for myself.
Sure.
Like, I always think that we're dealing with humans at the end of the day. They're people. There are real consequences in what we do, right? It's serious consequences sometimes.
Right.
So like, if a
Well,
deal falls apart,
consequences.
life
Absolutely.
consequences.
I'm dealing with a
Yeah.
divorce right now, and we're closing in less than 30 days, and her lease fell through. And I said, listen, we need to get an extension from your buyer. And she's like, well, I don't want to lose the deal. I said, if we lose the deal, we lose the deal. I got to protect you.
Sure. Can't be homeless.
They're going to be homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so they know that when you have your best interest.
Yeah.
See how calm he says that though? Because another agent that has a little bit less experience is going to panic, is going to freak out.
Oh, I've seen it first.
Bottom line, you do what's right for your client
Yeah.
at all times,
Mhm.
and everything works out. And in this business, they always close. It always gets to the closing table.
Yeah.
You know? for the
I think
most
it's
part.
important though that everyone that's involved in the transaction has that same energy too. That is really key. So like we've all been involved in transactions where one piece of the puzzle is not, like, it's missing, and it trickles down to all of us.
Yeah.
So it's really important that when you're establishing your business and your network, you're working with people who think like you, who have the same kind of energy. That's why it flows and it works. I'll tell you, like, for me, what I've been doing a lot more lately, and I think it really helps, is to talk to people, even when they don't want to hear it. Those are the hardest ones, when you have to tell them the truth and they don't want to hear the truth. I have a client right now that, the buyers, I represent the seller. It's a house in Bloomfield. The buyer's ready to close. Their rate lock expired. They're paying extension fees. There was no TOE served. So, like, we're not responsible per se for the extension fees, but the CO failed because they removed the tank and there was a deck above the tank. So they took the deck down, removed the tank, and put the deck back, but they didn't get a permit for the deck. They only got the permit for
Wow.
the tank removal. So they failed the CO. Now they have to get permits for the deck, and the client doesn't want to close with an escrow for a CO. And I'm telling my client, let's close with an escrow for the CO. What's the problem? You have a person on the other side that's ready to close. They're losing money every single
Sure.
day. It's our fault that we don't have the CO. Close with a $5K escrow. I hate escrows because it's
Yeah.
more work for me.
Sure.
Right.
But that's the right thing to do for her. And the client starts questioning, whose side are you on? And I have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And then I use a lot is reason, and just saying, hey, what would you do if you were the buyer? How would you feel?
Yeah.
You're ready to close. You're
Right.
packed. The stuff's in the moving truck, and you can't go because the seller had an issue with the town. So let's be fair.
Yeah.
We're closing tomorrow.
Perfect.
You're always doing what's right.
Yeah, do what's right. Even
Yeah.
if
if you're
Exactly
doing
what you
what's
said,
right,
yeah.
People, sometimes you're not going to get through to them, but if you always have the good intentions, that's the only way you can do business.
Yep. All right, we got a couple more, and then we can wrap up the
Yeah.
show. It's you, John. 6.
Is it 6? Okay. Best communication method. So you want to talk to a client. Do you prefer to do it in person, via text, email, or a phone call? If you can pick, what would you prefer? Or what's realistic too?
The best method.
Best method.
Listen, texting is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Do not text. If you want to get your point across, or they're going to read it the way they want to read
Yes.
it, and you do not text. This is sensitive information.
101 right there.
Yeah, you can't. The texting, forget it. That's great when you're setting up a
Happy birthday or something. You want to, or whatever. A little quick message. But yeah.
Listen, people read things. They don't hear your voice. They don't hear you're joking or you're not joking.
Right. It
Yeah.
could be
This is-
misinterpreted. The
you
tone is not there. It's
Yeah.
have to, in person, you get everything done. It's more work, it's more work, but in person is the best.
who's more competitive? Dad, son, or both? Equally competitive, let's say. Be honest.
It depends what we're talking about.
Oh,
And
actually,
from-
that was D. I missed that.
That was
It
D.
depends what game it is.
Yeah, let's go.
That's the
definitely.
Great that
answer.
you said
All right, well,
that.
let me
It's
say
funny.
let me say what I'm more competitive. when we're at for breakfast or lunch and
Oh, yeah.
we're ordering.
All right.
Okay. I'm more competitive about what we're ordering, and we've got to do splitsies. So
Okay.
You want to
Likes to
dip
chop
in
it up.
everything.
Chop,
there's
chop.
a
Yeah.
lot
I
of
like that.
negotiations going
Yeah.
on. So for breakfast and lunch, I'm more competitive.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You probably don't even remember, but there was a house that was for sale, and we both had buyers that we ended up showing the house.
This
and
is great.
We were both submitting offers on it.
This is
I'm like,
great.
So what are you submitting? Like, and he's like, we're going back and forth,
Yeah.
busting chops a little bit. But long story short, neither of our clients end up getting the property.
That's wonderful.
So I tell him what we submitted, and he's like, sure enough, he had $5,000 higher or whatever.
Ah.
He's like, you really think I was gonna let you beat me?
Ah,
on that?"
that's
So
great.
he's definitely from the business side of things. You can be competitive, but
And we only
both
didn't,
are.
We only didn't
And
get
we
it
do it
because
in good
because
fun.
the buyer didn't want to go up.
that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
But-
you see, that's the 36 years
Mhm.
right there.
Well,
To you.
because our job is to find out what it's
Yes,
going to
yeah.
cost, what it's going to take to get the house. Buyers might not want to hear
Yeah,
it,
they capped out.
but you need
Yeah.
to know what that number is.
Can I tell you how many buyers I've seen lose a home for 10,000, 20,000, even 30,000? You're talking with the market right now, every 10,000 might cost you $59, $60.
Right.
I tell them all the time, that's a bottle of wine. You know, that you go out to dinner, you spend that, half of that. And
Can't
I'm
even
sure
get a good steak for that.
you can't. No, but you'll be surprised. I hate when a buyer's like, oh, 550 is my max. What do you mean 550? You can't put a number on it. You have to be
Right.
comfortable with the payment, obviously.
Sure.
But that's where it's Joe and Junior will find out what number is going to win.
Mhm.
Leave it up to a good lender to get you the rate,
Right.
and Mooney to
Most-
take you home.
Mo-
All right.
Most buyers get caught up on the price.
Yeah.
And you need to bring them back to, listen, you want to keep driving around with me for the next 6 months? 20 grand gets you the house.
You're gonna spend $5,000.
Oh,
on
they
gas.
go back.
Right.
I wish I bought that.
Time.
They go back and
Oh, yeah.
settle for something. They're like, why didn't I listen to Joe and buy that house?
Well,
what was I thinking?
I tell them what it's going to take to buy it, and I said I'm never going to push you unless it's a deal. But there's no deals in this market. You're paying what you're paying.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna push them to make an educated decision, and then if that number, if they're not comfortable with it, then I respect that.
Mhm. All right, last question. If you could start over today, what would you focus on first? Is it building a network? Is it learning just the contract and deal negotiation? Is it branding and social media? Or is it finding a mentor or coach? What would you focus on first?
One of the first things that I wish I had done was the social media aspect of things. There was a time where I wasn't really showing what I was doing. Nobody knew that I was in the business, and I'm at that stage in my life where I have friends that are starting to look. And sure enough, I started to do more media, have more of a media presence, and there have been countless people now that have slid up on my Instagram story and said, "You're my guy when I'm ready."
Nice.
Or they're joking around. We'll give you $100,000 less, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's all in good fun. But they know that I have that presence, and I've been doing it for a year. I wish I did it from the very beginning, especially having a mentor here that I can kind of piggyback off of his stuff, where I was doing like the walkthrough tour videos that were here at 123 Main Street. Wasn't my listing. It was this
Yeah,
guy's
but you
listing.
use your
But you
resources.
use your resources.
And we're always here for you. TLC is
Right.
always here to help
Yeah,
you
appreciate
market and
that.
promote.
Mhm.
Honestly, use that. You guys can use. We have Social Jack, Big Dave, who you can't see
Awesome.
behind the camera, who's always ready to give new headshots
Yeah,
and just
awesome.
help you
Mhm.
perform at the highest level.
Sure.
Right.
Joe?
Say the question again.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
I'm getting
I know
old.
the answer.
This is-
So if you started over today,
social
what would you
media.
focus on first? Is it building a network? Is it learning, in and out contracts? Is it branding and social media? Or is it finding that mentor, coach to show you the ropes?
Um,
Remember, you're starting over.
I think you have to learn the business and so you really need a mentor. I branded myself when nobody branded themselves. I was in, I had
Billboards.
I had a business card with my elbow up. I copied it from, there was a company out of California. I took the first, remember Holmes Magazine? They,
Of course.
They still have
Yeah,
Holmes
yeah, they
Magazine?
still have it. Yep.
Yeah, so I was the first one, legitimately the first one, to take a full page ad with my listings.
With your elbow up?
No, that was before the elbow.
It's like Captain Morgan.
It's like
He's
got his
it's like
own
a JC
pose.
Penney thing, though. That's where you have.
I never saw it. That's
Joe,
why I'm
we
like,
gotta
wait,
we're
I gotta
we're
see
gonna
the
bring these
elbow
all.
up.
We'll bring them all up, Joe. We'll bring them up
I
when we
gotta
do this.
see the
He'll edit
elbow up.
the elbow up. We're gonna get
we
that.
gotta
Don't
get
worry.
there.
Yeah.
The elbow, but I was in a magazine with this elbow. up. And it said,
We're
Got a
bringing-
famous elbow.
You guys got to bring this
And
back.
it's
I want
a-
that
it's a
picture
Joe Smith.
reincarnated.
Yeah.
But so I took the first page ad out. I didn't ask. It was Gene Senior, who was the owner of the company. I didn't ask him. I just used the Preakness logo and
Sure.
everything. And the magazine comes out, and he blows a gasket. Like, what are you doing?
Because it was you.
Right. This is Preakness Realty. This isn't Joe Simone. I'm like, I paid for the page.
Of course.
I paid for the page, and I was doing it for, I'm going to say 6 months. Then you see another realtor do it. Then you see another realtor. do it.
Wow.
Then you see another realtor
Now it's
do it.
billboards.
Trailblazer.
Yeah. I did
Oh, yeah.
billboards. I did commercials. So he was, my youngest wasn't born yet, and I every year I did something. So I did a brochure, and I did just a father holding his son's hand like this, and then it was my 2 boys were born. My youngest wasn't born yet, and I sent it. It cost me, I think it cost me $5,000.
Wow.
This was 20 years ago, which
Wow,
was
that's a lot.
ton of money. Maybe,
Sure.
maybe 25 years ago. And then I mailed it to the entire town. I mailed it all to all of Wayne.
Awesome.
And that year, I almost doubled my business. Almost doubled my business.
Wonderful.
I was doing stuff that nobody was doing.
Sure.
So
You got to put it in to get
Yeah.
it back.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
you got to be in front of them. You know,
Yep.
people. I can't tell you how many houses I sold 3,400 homes. They haven't all relisted with me. That's where I fell down at the job, not staying in touch with past clients.
Right.
Because I had, you enjoy having great relationships with people, but you're not going to get them all. But you have to do a better job at just
Retention.
Well, we have
Retention.
retention. Now we have, and even for myself, you have the technology there.
Mhm.
So if you have a good database, and I always say, even
and
for
we
the
didn't have-
newer,
we didn't have
of course
the
not.
technology.
Yeah, now you can have all those names in a system
Right.
that automatically get emails and texts because you have to. That's what these big companies do, all the big corporations. So, but this was a wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful
This was
show.
dope.
This
Yep.
was
Appreciate it.
really
Good
cool.
show.
Got to
Yeah,
learn a
it's
lot
good.
about
we
you
did
guys.
an hour and a half, and it
Yeah.
felt a lot quicker than that.
Yeah,
I was trying to work, the Joe Rogan 3-hour podcast.
yeah.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
This
we'll
is my
get
first
deeper.
podcast, by
This
the way.
Is it
Yeah,
really?
I'm a
All
rookie.
right,
I'm a
well,
rookie. This is-
well,
I'm a rookie.
listen.
Never
Yeah,
guess
bro.
that.
Yeah.
We're honored to have you on your first podcast. So
My first
Absolutely.
podcast.
this was
Yeah.
fun.
That was great.
Now we
Yeah.
gotta start a podcast. We got to start.
We're
Hey, you
here.
could
We're
just
here.
come
You
here,
have
man.
it.
We're
This is
already-
your
we're
studio.
already set
That's
up.
it.
You never know. We might get a
A spinoff.
a spin-off
That's
podcast.
it. That's right.
We'll be your guests on your podcast.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just guys, it'll be Junior asking Senior tips of the day. How can I get through my day today? Senior, what is your mood today? I'm going through this funk. I'm thinking about this. Dad, can I get some world advice?
He'll give it to you.
Dude, boom, you have
There
it.
you
It's
go.
every day.
Oh, I do. I
Well-
think I call him probably 4 times a day, but
That's
the
awesome.
first 2 phone calls are normally like 10 seconds. Just like, what do you got? I'll call you back.
You know, it's refreshing. Like, we have boys, and
Yeah.
you heard me take the call before
your
the show
daughter.
started. My daughter
Right, yeah.
FaceTiming me
Uh-huh.
because she couldn't get a hold of me. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb
Right,
prior
right,
to this
right.
meeting.
Uh-huh.
But it's, I can't imagine my son growing up. I still look at him as that little boy. I know he's a freshman in high school, going to cringe when he sees this stuff, but
Yeah.
it's so refreshing to see you guys working together.
Yeah.
It's
it's nice.
beautiful to see the love and what you instilled in your children and what they're becoming.
This
so
is like a dream
So
for me
cool.
to have an experience because my son, one of them, the little guy, he doesn't count yet, but
Yusuf is a
Yusuf,
baller.
he wants to play hoops. He wants to be a lawyer, but my 16-year-old wants to be an attorney.
Right.
So when I see, the whole time you guys are doing this, I'm thinking of me
Dean,
and my son,
I could see it.
and it's just amazing to see.
from the tree.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so. He's a sharp kid.
He is very
He needs
sharp.
a little bit of.
We're gonna
grit.
get the youngsters.
We gotta
on
give 'em a
here.
little
We're
bit of
gonna
the
get the
grit.
youngsters
Yeah.
on here. He had a
That'll be
16 to
fun.
14. I want a couple kids on here to
That's cool.
tell us a little bit about their view of the world these
Yep,
days.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this was
Cool.
great. Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much
thank
for
you.
joining
Oh,
us.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
This was
Yeah.
fun. And we'll
Thank
keep-
you.